With lots to look forward to in the FPS genre this year, let's take a look at the top 5 FPS games. Quick shout out to our very own Taron Stockton for writing this list. Let's get into it, starting with number 5, we have Apex Legends from Respawn Entertainment. After the huge success of the Battle Royale genre due to PUBG, it seemed like every developer was trying to get in on the action. There were honestly some good attempts, but Apex Legends has perhaps cemented itself as the best FPS Battle Royale. After a stealthy 3-year development cycle, the game shadow dropped out of nowhere in early 2019. It changed up the Battle Royale formula slightly by letting players select individual characters with their own skills and abilities called Legends. It also had fewer players in the game, with 20 teams of 3 or 30 teams of 2, which in tandem with the hero shooter formula made it feel more squad focused. To top it off, the varied but tight map design adds a lot to the game focused around character skill and verticality. Number 4, we have Doom 2016. There was a lot of apprehension upon the announcement of Doom 2016. At the time, the idea of successfully recreating what made the original special seemed impossible, but they did it. The madmen actually did it. Acting as sort of a reboot/remake, Doom puts you in the shoes of a more seasoned Doom guy who had previously rampaged through the hordes of hell, ripping and tearing until they had to drop a damn cathedral on top of him and imprison him. Fast forward and Doom guy awakens on Mars again with that familiar premise of a demonic invasion hanging over his head. They refined the gameplay for this entry, drawing from 30 years of game evolution while still harkening back to the spirit of the original. It featured a pulse-pounding soundtrack from Mick Gordon that spurred the action forward, and intense combat supplemented by a cast of weapons, speed and innovative mechanics like the glory kill system. It's undoubtedly one of the best reboots of all time and helped launch the renaissance of boomer shooters. Coming in at number 3, we've got Quake. The peak of the 90s shooter no doubt came with Quake. As a successor to Doom, it built on the frenetic action with more speed, intensity and utter mayhem, supplementing it with full 3D rendering to bring the amalgamation of sci-fi, gothic medieval and Lovecraftian aesthetics to life. The mashup of styles worked wonders, giving it a pronounced look, and it stood as an example of excellent art design even with a limited colour palette to work from. The impeccably sinister soundtrack from Trent Reznor also bolstered the experience tenfold, creating industrial soundscapes and a constant whirling ambience that built on the uneasiness. All these elements sought to heighten the tight shooting and movement, which contained a previously unseen fluidity and momentum. All in all, it's a hallmark of boomer shooter design that's been echoed for generations of gaming. Number 2, we have Titanfall 2. If this was a list of the best FPS single player games, Titanfall 2 would run away with the crown. An impeccable narrative and missions that blow the mind of anyone playing through it for the first time. A bad word cannot be said about this incredible successor to a series that wasn't afraid to push the boat out and try new things. If you've ever played Titanfall 2 before and you like first-person shooters, you must immediately give it a go after reading the list, especially the effect and cause level. The multiplayer wasn't half bad either, with many Titans to choose from and clean responsive shooting mechanics that so clearly took inspiration from Call of Duty, which makes sense since Titanfall 2 was developed by Respawn Entertainment, a company found by ex-Infinity Ward developers who created the Modern Warfare series. Titanfall 2 is so easy to pick up and play, but it will take some serious grinding to become a master of one of the greatest ever first-person shooters, because that wall running is some serious business. Coming in at number 1, we have Counter-Strike: A Global Offensive, aka CSGO. Counter-Strike is without a doubt the greatest multiplayer tactical shooter series ever created. The core idea is simple, pitting two teams, terrorists and counter-terrorists, against each other, with the terrorists attempting to plant a bomb in various points on the map while the counter-terrorists stop them. As the latest entry, Counter-Strike Global Offensive has become an esport Goliath and the most concentrated entry, distilling the CS core into its most potent outing. Despite the single premise, the gameplay is full of depth with tons of elements to master, such as shooting, movement, economy and equipment usage. Counter-Strike is principally a test of your raw mechanical skill, with an extremely high skill ceiling to boot. It's also worth mentioning the legendary staying powers of the maps, some of which have been the mainstays in the competitive scene since Counter-Strike 1.6, which is frankly down to their excellent design that allows the tactical battles to play out. Do you agree with this list? If we've missed any, let us know down in the comments below. If you made it this far in the video, hit that subscribe button. Until next time.